My name is Chris Boris, and I'm the world's first ghost behaviorist. I've come up with a groundbreaking ghost classification system that brings ghostly contact to a whole new level.
So you were involved in that crash, correct?
My mission is to get into a spirit psyche and diagnose the problems plaguing them.
You must have killed somebody.
Post-traumatic stresses, coping disorders, I've seen it all. I'm here to counsel the dead and the homeowners they haunt. All right, guys, welcome to the first switching gears. Welcome to the first Ghost Behaviorist podcast, and I apologize for being late. I have a crazy explanation. As you know, it seems like every time I try to do one of these things, something weird happens. Like, I swear to God, it's the dark forces just like kind of stepping in, being like, no, we don't want you to do this stuff. Look at this. Blue screen of death. There is no reason for this. And it's just the same old song and dance. Like every time I try to do something like this, something intervenes and tries to keep me from doing this stuff. And it's annoying. I had to really bless my house last night to make sure I got a good night's sleep. When you are tuned in to something like the secrets of the afterlife, like I am, the resistance, man, it's just like, ugh. So one of the things that I'm announcing today is I just put together a website. I've been working on this for 2 months, and I've been every step of the way, I've been hitting this resistance, this wall, where something does not want me to get this out. And it's at ghostdrchris.com. I put this together because I've had so many people come to me saying, I need help, but I live a couple states away. Put together a package for people if they're in trouble. They have, they're having weird hauntings, things happening to them, even sleep paralysis. I can help you solve the case of sleep paralysis because it's a dark attack. It took me a long time to realize what sleep paralysis actually was, and I haven't heard anybody out there in the field talk about this stuff, even as simple as sleep paralysis. They haven't put this stuff together, and I don't know if it's by design or what, but it is a dark attack. I believe this is pretty revolutionary for what it is. It's kind of a revolutionary way to set things up. RKF says it is a remote service. Absolutely. When a dark force tries to get into your house, the first thing it does is plant its flag and says, okay, I'm going to start invading this space, but it can't do it right away, because what it has to do is it has to align the energy in the house with its energy. So it's got to take it down, the vibration level. It's got to take the vibration level down and sync it with theirs. And one of the ways it does that is by, getting the people in the house scared, little kids scared. And what happens is they feed off of that their emotions, because that's what they feed. That's their food source in the afterlife. It's just a process until you get full-blown apparitions. You get things like, I hate to lump it in there, but it's true. Alien abductions. If you really research the alien abduction cases, you will see that paranormal things happen around the house and around those situations before abduction scenarios occur. And it's just another layer to the demonic forces that are out there. So what's the creepiest encounters you've ever had as a ghost doctor? I'm living it, man. In the middle of the night, I had this cloaked demonic thing just slink out of the darkness at me, and I still remember its growl. It had chains dangling from it. I'm talking about full blown Christmas Carol Jacob Marley kind of stuff, but the coat was like huge. This thing came at me, freaked me the hell out because it's 4 a.m. I'm like, what in the absolute hell? Bed shaking, all that crap. So that really freaked me out. I hate when they come to my house, and that's why I get so mad when I see people on on TV, like these Destination Fear kids and stuff like that. Spend one day in my shoes and you ain't gonna last, buddy. Yes, it's kind of like that. People are like, why do you do this stuff? It's a calling. God, I've had conversations with the source, God, whatever you want to call it, and this is my calling. It's like and they've revealed specific things for me to decode, because it's going to be needed later on. And I hate to say this, if you research a lot of the um, prophets and things like that, what they're saying online now, a lot of them are saying the exact same thing, and it's like, where there's smoke, there's fire. So I think we're going to have some crazy things going down this summer. Come on, man, give me something new. Like, I can't learn from anybody anymore. I've evolved so much in this field. It's like I can't learn from anybody anymore, and it drives me absolutely insane. Told my gay friend Lilith about the 90-minute interaction you had in your book. He's wondering if it's possible for him to entice the male spirit that's haunting him to fall in love with him. If that's what if that's the question that you have for that, you kind of missed the point. And that's one of the things that I deal with as a ghost behaviorist when I'm interacting with these spirits. I'm like, okay, what are you dealing with? We need to get you past these issues. Poop balloon, what a name. Says the world needs more people like you. I totally agree. And when I start talking about this stuff and linking the afterlife together with different classifications and why they're earthbound and how to remedy situations, I literally see their jaws drop. They're just like, and it's just nonstop jaw drop moments. Like, what? Oh, huh. And then there are certain things I want to talk about, but I can't. And the reason being that I have household names in the paranormal industry, like stealing my stuff, like cherry picking my stuff. And just recently, I saw somebody use parasitic ghosts, and I'm like, wait a minute, I coined that term a couple of years ago. Like, what the hell? And it just drives me nuts because I don't get credit. They don't come to me and say, well, hey, what's this mean? How'd you come up with this? They just start cherry picking this stuff. And the beauty, though, is that what I do it can't be cherry picked, because you have it's like a clock. It's just like there are so many moving parts to what I do. You could take like the faceplate, you could take the minute hand or whatever, and it'd be like, oh, look at this shiny toy. But unless you have the entire clock working in unison, because there's a lot of moving parts in what I do, and unless they're all working together in a synchronized fashion, you're not going to have the level of success that I'm able to get with the spirit world. And I've learned so much, so much. I've got this device right now. I cannot wait to show the public, because it's just going to blow your mind. It's going to be like, what the hell? Like, this thing is, I don't even want to allude to what it is, because if somebody steals this idea, I'm going to be absolutely irate. So I just like to gauge the sincerity of them, because there are a lot of levels to the spirit world. I think schizophrenics actually have a conduit into the spirit world, and they have no idea what's going on. The people around them have no idea what's going on. But I've interacted with a couple of these people, and you just have to ask the right questions, because a lot of them, they'll say, I'm hearing guttural things like that. And I'm like, oh, it's a mimic. It's a mimic demon thing. And so it's like, can you talk about the paraceleb that is stealing? I don't want to mention names. There's a specific camp, though, that I've kind of found, like, it's just this little circle of friends. They always interact with each other and things I see online, and it's just this little circle. And it just drives me nuts, because I keep seeing things like, like even with the recent thing, I was like, well, who's this guy hanging out with? And I was, sure enough, part of that circle. I'm like, son of a bitch. So, especially when you're trying to be a pioneer in this field, and the field has kind of like a boot on your head. It's like, no, we don't want you here. Because in 2016, I approached a lot of people with this new way of doing things, and they were just like, we don't want you anywhere near us. We don't, or the field. Like, we have a good thing going on here. You're going to ruin a good thing. That's basically what I got from it. So, I'm going to tell you right now. Once this genie is out of the bottle, you think you saw the Irate Gamer hate club, ABGN hate club against me? Just wait. Just wait until the genie's out of the bottle. You're going to see some serious shit hit the fan. Because this thing impacts all established ghost hunters. It impacts the psychic field. It impacts mediums, everything. Because what I do is more accurate than mediums, more accurate than psychics. So there's going to be a lot of shit thrown my way. And I've actually gotten confirmation from the spirit world, like, when this happens, because it's going to happen, watch your ass, because it's just going to be a shitstorm that comes upon you. All right, I want to address this. Marlon Vids, you said, I wish a spirit would love me. Learn to love yourself. That is the key. If there's one key to all this, it's love. And it's like, love yourself, love everything. Try to find. But if you have a burning question, I'm just going to have to say it right now. You're going to have to do like one of those pay things, because it highlight when you pay for a question, it highlights it for me, and I could just go right to it and do that. So, can D&D sessions summon otherworldly beings on accident? I don't know if the game itself per se will conjure that. If it's that easy to do, like an incantation or a spell, or what are they embedding in pop culture, in mainstream songs, there, and you start going down the rabbit hole, and you'll see that, yes, they are embedding things into the songs that are getting on the top 10 lists, the videos that are hitting top, on YouTube, some of the influencers on YouTube. It's like, you look in their eyes, and you're like, ooh, what's going on there? So are they doing incantations and things like that just by saying a sequential order of words? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. If it's going to work for light, it's going to work just as good for the dark. And we're at this tipping point now where a lot of people are seeing through the veil, and they're really, if you know where to look online, you can see a lot of like artists in with their concerts and things like that. They're absolutely doing incantations, just the way they move, the way the lights flicker and things like that. And I saw it firsthand too at E3. And I don't talk about this a lot, but there were some after parties there where it's like, what the hell did I just walk into? I'm telling you, I was approached by YouTube in 2012. They fucked my channel. Sorry to say it, to get vulgar, they fucked my channel. And it's because I did not want to sell out and become part of their whatever. And the top people on YouTube now, you better be careful what you're watching over there, and what you're being spoon fed by the media and whatever, because they're all in bed together. I learned right away. This is the reason I was late today. Blue screen of death. I was using this computer yesterday to do a podcast, and it's dead. I don't know what happened to it. Well, you died in this location. You're kind of confined to this location, right? No. We had that. We debunked that pretty damn quickly, because me and Alan and I, sorry, probably English. Alan and I were at the St. Augustine Lighthouse, and Alan asked. We were talking to the Spanish, Spaniard, whatever. Gosh, I can't think of the correct term. Sailor or something like that. We got to the point where Alan was just like, "Hey, are you just a wandering spirit? You just wandered in here?" Because nothing made sense. It's like, well, you're not this ghost or that ghost or the other ghosts that are haunting this location. And he was basically like, Yeah, I'm just wandering through. So I was like, aha, you could go anywhere you want. And I think later in the episode, I even asked a spirit. I was like, so are you able to leave the grounds? Are you able to go anywhere you want? And they lit up the thing we had and said, yes, we can. When I was a ghost tour guide at the Collingwood Art Center for 5 years, that was the thing. I asked the same questions over and over and over again. That was a question that I asked. My little girl's coming down. Hold on a second. Hey, you gotta go upstairs. I'm talking right now. What do you need? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Trials and tribulations of being a dad. Um, and that's another thing, I want to be able to protect my family. I want to know how to protect my family because when I know this stuff, things are coming at me. Sometimes they'll come at them, and it just pisses me off. I'm like, you low life, you're gonna come to my kids and wake them up in the middle of the night and terrify them in their dream state, like you mother. It just drives me nuts. Poop Balloon asks, the classifications were a shock to the community. I bet. I don't know because they've kind of ignored me. And if you know more than the other person, there's going to be jealousy. There's going to be ego, and it's just like, look, I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to get my name out there, and actually, because I know what I'm talking about. You guys can go do your ghost hunt. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to help people. Every time I go to a location and they don't really know that much about me and I do a lecture, when I come off the stage, my booth is swarmed with people, like more than the people they've paid to be there. They are swarming they're like, where did this guy come from? They don't see me coming. They're like, this guy has answers. Like when I mentioned earlier, just this constant jaw dropping moment. Like, what? They surround my booth and they're just like, I want your book. I want your DVD. I want to know. I have some questions I want answered. The first time it just caught me off guard. I was like, what? And I got off stage and I was walking back to my booth with my wife. I was very casually walking back really slow. And I was like, oh, do you think that went well? Yeah, I think that went well. I get back to my booth. I'm just like, what the hell? There's like 100 people surrounding my booth that waiting for me to come back. And I was just like, it caught me off guard because they had all the main people there. Grant Wilson, the Haunted Collector guy, what's his name? Zaphis, a lot of the Ghost Hunter International, like all these people. And my booth was just like, vonk, pissed a lot of people off, let me tell you. And I was not invited back, even after I said, look, I'll buy a booth. I just want another lecture time. No, we're good. We're good. And so it's like everybody on that, they're like, we're good. We don't need you, which ticks me off because, here we go, ego again. And it's like, okay, well, you're shooting yourself in the foot because if you have that mentality in the afterlife, it's going to come against you. GhostDrChris.com. I have different packages up there, and it's a remote viewing, and the remote does just as good as me being there. All you have to do is purchase this once. You're protected forever. You can do this at your leisure whenever you want, how often as you want, and you could become your own master. It's like a master class for people that oh man, some of those questions I don't want to touch because you guys are getting very, very specific with people that I'm kind of referring to, and I don't want to mention any names. Um, I'm sorry, I'm doing this on my phone. If I was on my computer, this would be a lot easier. All right, I'll address this here. It says, if I'm killed by a ghost, what happens to me? I'm also turned into a spirit. Um, if you watch my Ghost Doctor series, in my first episode, I ended up interacting with Eliza, and I pulled information about the afterlife that was just mind blowing. One of those things is that there are rules to the afterlife that spirits have to follow. Now, think about that for a minute. Rules to the afterlife. What does that mean? So, if we break this down, it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. If there are rules, then there's somebody governing the afterlife. There are punishments. uh, and there's certain things they have to follow. So there's kind of like a Ten Commandments that the afterlife. And so if you're asking me if a ghost can kill somebody, uh, not not directly. There's within the demonic world, there is this thing that happens where the demon, like their ultimate goal is to try to wear somebody down to the point of wanting to commit suicide. That is a badge of honor to a demon. If they could do that, oh, that's it's just like a badge of honor. It goes on their coat, their belt, or whatever. It's like, hey, look what I did. I've had family members commit suicide. It's tragic. You have to pray for them. You have to pray for them. I cannot stress this enough. You have to pray for them because once they cross over, first of all, their mind state is shredded. Okay, I've been praying for the spirits in the purgatory realms, and I no lie, they keep waking me up in the middle of the night. I feel the bed shake. I'm like, oh, here we go again. So they're visiting me. So I've been telling them, like, look, I'm doing a prayer session for you every Sunday and Wednesday. God dang it, I am passionate about this stuff. And I don't care if you guys ridicule me or whatnot. I got haters. I've always had haters. Fine. But when it's your turn to meet the maker and you need help and you're coming to me for prayers, I'm not going to turn you away. There are hell realms in which things are cast into rocks and things like that. So they're serving out these long sentences to burn off their karma. And I know I'm probably sounding like a quack, but listen, when you start getting into the stuff like the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and start figuring out, okay, this is the matrix of how the afterlife works. It's like, aha. And when you come at the spirit world and say, look, I know you're going through XYZ, I can figure this out and be like, okay, I'm going to solve your problems. They're like 90-minute interactions with spirits. Somebody that actually knows what they're talking about and can talk to the spirit world like they know what's going on, because I do know what's going on. You guys keep asking about astral spiders. This is one of the things that I don't want to talk about just yet, because like I said, people are taking my knowledge. Like a couple of things that I won't talk about are astral spiders, and I really want to talk about them. I do, because they come hand in hand with the demonic and things like that. But once I start talking about it, I know somebody's going to pick up on this and be like, "Oh, this is something we came up with." It just drives me nuts, because I'm like, okay, well, if they're stealing this stuff from me, what else have they been stealing? Like, do they have anything original that they've been putting out there for the last couple of years? Let things happen first, and then I will definitely talk about the spider stuff, because I know I've been kind of hinting around that for a while. Are dark forces gaining strength from the chaos in our society? Absolutely. I believe a lot of what's going on, they're driving it. And it says, in the last days, God is going to release the devil for an hour, I think it is. And I think we're seeing that now. And this is all by design. We're at the end of the age. If you study astrology, we are at the end of the Piscean age. We're entering into the Aquarian age. The song Age of Aquarius. Want to link this to Stranger Things. This is a great analogy where you see those big old spider crawly things in the background, coming over the city. I'm pretty sure that was they've got some divine influence, and once they get that big, they could start doing mass influence of people, and they can start taking over. Oh man, this just goes down so many rabbit holes. But there are different demonic sects in the afterlife. SECTS. Hope I'm saying that correctly. But they have different genuses in the demonic realm. That you have your grays, you have your reptiles, you have your bugs, your things like that. There are different types, okay? And spiders is just one of those. I hope nothing bad happens to me tonight. I'm really uncovering a lot of the stuff that they do not want out there. But one of the things that is a tell especially among like the bug type of demonic things, is that, and Alan explained this to me, where the people that are influenced, they'll start circling in a, I can't remember if it's clockwise or counterclockwise fashion. That is interesting. That is very interesting. So the only one that I really like is Zach. I love watching Zach. I feel that he's genuine, but he just doesn't know where to go. And the problem is he keeps going darker, 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 and I think that's going to bite him in the butt. I think something bad's going to happen with his team. I just feel it. I feel it in my gut because they're doing some bad stuff with um, what do you call them? The singing bowls. And I tell you, I haven't seen anybody using singing bowls before I was doing it. There's a guy that I talked to a couple weeks ago, and I felt bad, but he was just telling me of all. He's like, oh yeah, and all this cool stuff and all this demonic stuff in my house, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh, this. He showed me this video of something that happened in the basement, and I'm like, look, I got to give you some tough love here. You have a family, like you're playing around with stuff that you shouldn't be playing around with because you don't know the correct protective layers to put around yourself, around your house, around your family. He hasn't talked to me since. So thank you for watching. Unless my phone like just totally dies on me like my laptop did. I will be back next week. I will try to get Alan. Man, if there's one guy that knows is my equal in this stuff, it is absolutely Alan. So thank you, and be safe out there.